Hey everybody, how you doing? Dan Hennessy here again. And we're midway through our 21 days. Now, if you got started a little bit late or if you had trouble finding where everything is, don't worry about that, okay? Just pick up wherever you're at and continue to move along here. If we can always extend out the 21 days a little bit. You have till the end of next week to get in those after photos or those after waistline measurements if you're participating in the trying to win the challenge. But bigger picture stuff here, aside from that, that's all well and good. But the goal here is we want to have lifelong success. That's why I do what I do. That's why I use Precision Nutrition and the Pro Coach system online. That's why the real program is 12 months long. There's a lot more context. There's a lot more coaching involved. There's a lot more interaction involved. So this is just a very small piece of the puzzle, and we're just trying to give you a lot of really good information at a very low risk. So we're trying to give you 10 times the amount of stuff that you actually paid for. So in keeping in line with that, I want to go over today, and this is what everybody experiences. I want to talk about first the 3 biggest lies in healthy living, really, and then the 3 S's, kind of how to overcome those myths or those lies. So one of the things that people think, and probably why you signed up for this challenge, is because you think you need to always be inspired or motivated to do good things like eat your vegetables and work out and whatever. And that's just not true. Another one is you always, that builds off that, is that you should always be motivated. So 1, you have to be inspired, and 2, you have to be motivated. And those are things that don't always come about, right? I'm not always motivated and I'm not always inspired, but I still do the things that I need to do anyway because I know I need to do them. Which brings us to the 3rd lie, which is experts like myself are always motivated to do those things. And again, it's just not the case. Inspiration comes, is for a temporary period of time. Maybe you read a book, or maybe you talked to a person about getting healthy, or maybe you talked to me about getting healthy. But that only lasts for a short period of time, right? There's kind of this honeymoon phase and things fade out, especially on a year-long program. And the feeling that you always should be motivated, that's not true either. If you look at anybody who's successful really in anything, the feeling that you should be motivated to do something, in other words, say you have to eat 5 servings of vegetables, right? You don't necessarily have to feel like, oh man, I'm pumped and ready to do this. What you do have to realize is, I know this is good for me and I know I should do it, so I'm just going to find a way to get it done anyway. As opposed to feeling that I should be motivated. No, you shouldn't. That's not how the real world works, and that's not how life works. And again, at the end of the day, the experts aren't always motivated to do them either. I don't wake up in the morning and go, man, I can't wait to eat some vegetables. Or, I'm not always excited to go to the gym and work out either. That's just the way it goes. I mean, you can find little things, if you come to K-Strength, you might have a group of friends here. So you get to socialize a little bit and create that kind of community atmosphere. So those things might be motivating factors, but the actual things themselves are not. The actual exercise or the actual habit that we're working on. So those are 3 myths that we need to get out of the way so that we can really progress forward here. And how do we do that? Well, we use the 3 S's. And the 3 S's are structure, systems, and scheduling. So what does that mean? A structure is basically having like a daily routine or a weekly routine that helps you stay motivated. So again, if you come to K-Strength, that's a great structure because okay, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. I'm coming to boot camp class, or every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. I'm doing personal training. You kind of create a structure for yourself, and it's probably close to where you live, right? It might be on the way home from work or something like that. Or it could be something like you're going to stock up your refrigerator with the appropriate foods that you need, right? When you go shopping, if you buy a bunch of vegetables, organic food, and all these other things, and that's the only thing that you have in your kitchen, well, you just created a structure for really only healthy options, right? But if you go to the store and you buy chips, soda, some of the things that we know aren't so great for us, well, then the structure of your kitchen dictates that you can have those things. And it's difficult to outpace that structure. So Structure is very important. It could be something as simple like I just mentioned. If there has to be, say you have kids, the one thing I always hear from parents is, well, my kids love this stuff and they have to have it. Okay, well, in that case, create a pantry, or even maybe for your significant other, create a section in your kitchen that's just theirs. And create a section in your refrigerator that's maybe just yours. And create that structure for you to operate in. Another way of thinking about it is creating that environment for you. So, if it's too much to get to the gym, maybe we need at-home workouts. If it's too much to prepare a meal for your entire family, maybe we need to outsource it with a meal program or something else. Or maybe we need to find better, easier, quicker recipes. Maybe you need to cook more in bulk. Maybe you need to do something else. There's a bunch of different options. The point being is we have to find the right structure for you to be successful in it. The next S after structure is systems. So a system could be something like, all right, if you come to boot camp at 5:30 a.m. every morning on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here at K-Strength, maybe you pack your clothes and everything that you need. You get your protein shake ready so that you can just add water in the morning. So you have everything kind of ready to go. You have a system for how you're going to get exercise done. Or, maybe you have a morning ritual or a nightly ritual or a Sunday ritual of preparing your food, cooking in bulk. So it could be a lot of different things. It's just a system that you use that functions within that structure that you've created, right? So if you don't currently exercise and you have no way of really getting a consistent workout in, well, maybe the first thing is to just create a structure for movement. Maybe it's just starting to walk around the block every morning. You wake up 5 minutes early and do 1 lap around the block. And the system for that is the night before, you lay out all your clothes. So all you have to do is click the alarm off, put on the stuff that's right next to your bed, and boom, you're right out the door. That's a great structure and a great system. And the last S there is scheduling. So it's just like when you schedule a dentist appointment, right? If you know you have to, or if you know you want to start working out, and okay, say you're going to start small. I'm going to do 1 personal training session per week. I'm going to start off small and just make sure I hit that personal training session. Go through your calendar and say, okay, what's the most likely time slot that I can totally block off without a doubt? Okay, it's Tuesday at 6 p.m. So Tuesday at 6 p.m., I'm going to sign up with K-Strength and I'm going to block that time off. And just like you would a dentist appointment, right? You don't necessarily want to go to the dentist. You don't necessarily think it's fun, but you know you have to do it, right? It's important for your health. Same thing with exercise or eating well. So mark it off if you're in your calendar. If it's vegetables with each meal, put down, okay, I know I'm going to eat breakfast at 7 a.m. and then I know I'm going to have my lunch at 12 noon, and then I know I'm going to have dinner at 7 p.m. So I'm going to schedule that in just like I would schedule anything else that I prioritize. And then it gets done. So we need those 3 S's in place because that will help us overcome those ideas or those myths that we have of I have to always be inspired. I have to always be motivated. Oh man, look at all these other people on Instagram or wherever, or these coaches or these experts or whatever, whoever you think is getting it done at a high level. Man, they're always pumped. They're always motivated. Well, no, you're seeing the end production of a product of marketing, really. But the real deal is when you're grinding it out every day, like most people are, that's when most people fall off, when they kind of get into the grind, right? The honeymoon phase is over. You've already had the gym membership for a month or two. You've already been on this type of eating program for a month or two. And then you're like, well, this is boring and I'm not motivated and it's not fun and blah, blah, blah. That's how everybody reacts to it. You're not different. What separates that type of mindset from people that continue and get it done is creating this 3 S's to overcome that. Creating that structure or that environment, creating that system or those rituals or habits, and scheduling it in, just like you schedule everything else in your day, right? If you have a meeting at work, it's scheduled. If you have to take the kids to practice, it's scheduled. If you have to, if you go to church on Sunday, it's scheduled in there. It's something that you don't waver on unless something drastic happens. And that's the same approach you want to take here, because that's going to lead to success. And the reason, if you don't believe me, and again, don't take my word for this, look at your own life. What are you successful at? If you've been holding down a job for at least a year, that's successful. If you have a family, that's a form of success. If you own or rent, that's a form of success. If you have a car and you're making the payments, that's a form of success. If you're doing anything in society, in this modern world that we live in, there's a lot of different ways to judge success. Maybe you have a degree. Maybe you have a cool meetup group on meetup.com. Maybe you're in a band. Maybe, whatever. Whatever you consider to be a successful thing or an asset to your life that you value, look at how you got there. I guarantee you there's some type of structure there. There's some type of system there, and there's some type of scheduling there. So all we want to do is cultivate that within this area if you're having trouble with that. So that when things kind of hit the fan and you're not really pumped about it, and it's getting cold out and waking up at 5 a.m. is getting harder and harder, you have these things in place to say, okay, this sucks, I'm not into it, but I have all these systems in place. I have the structure, the system, and the schedule in place to get it done, no matter how I feel. Ironically, what happens is when you have those things, it kind of forces you to get moving. It kind of forces you to put your shoes on in the morning. It forces you to get out of bed and hit that off button on the alarm. And that movement creates motivation. So action always comes before motivation. Action always comes before motivation. Most people think of it the other way around. They think, okay, I need to get motivated first and then I'll take action. No, my friends. That's not it. Think about it like this. Say you haven't worked out in 10 years, or you're just a sedentary lifestyle, or maybe you work out a whole bunch. It doesn't matter. But think about a day you don't want to do that exercise. You don't want to do that workout, or you just can't imagine yourself getting up off the couch and doing anything. As soon as you just start doing a little bit of movement, say you already are a member here, you don't want to do the workout, but as soon as we start getting warmed up, we start getting the movement going, you're taking action. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, and now I can get this done. I can get this workout done. You just need to get started, and then the motivation follows. It's just taking that lap around the block, just getting moving. And then you start moving, you start loosening up, blood starts flowing, and then you're like, oh, okay, I can go for a little bit longer. I can take another lap. I can maybe do some squats and some push-ups, or whatever the case might be. Same thing goes for food. Oh, I don't really want this serving of broccoli or salad or spinach or whatever. But you know what? I'm just going to take a couple bites, and then you kind of get going and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. I put some butter on it. I put some salt and pepper on it. It tastes pretty good. I can do another serving. That's no problem. So to quickly recap, those 3 myths are just that. They're not reality. It's just kind of what we are marketed to believe. The way we defeat those things: structure, system, schedule. And when you have those things in place, you're able to take action without motivation, and then the motivation eventually will come. Even if it's just short-lived for that one exercise or that one meal. But having that structure, system, and schedule in place will get you through to the other side, and that's what people who are truly successful do. And then this becomes a part of your routine, and then you don't really have an option because it's just how you function. Give those things a try. Leave a comment below. Are you having trouble? Are you seeing any resistance to some of these things? Let me know how it's going. Good, bad, or neutral. All right? I'll see you guys. Bye.